Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a pretty complex topic into a super clear, easy-to-follow guide. All right, so a whole new world of AI agents is here. Are you ready for it? Today, we're diving headfirst into the really exciting, kind of wild frontier of Salesforce Agentforce. These autonomous agents are total game changers, for sure. So let's think of this new frontier like a jungle. I mean, it's this amazing, untamed place, just full of incredible potential. But like any jungle, it's also got its fair share of challenges and, well, hidden dangers. Now, when we say an autonomous agent, what are we really talking about? This isn't your average chatbot. No way. We're talking about an AI that can think, that can act, and that can pull all the strings across the entire Salesforce platform. It can update records, call APIs, make its own decisions, and that's exactly why our whole approach to QA has got to change. Right, with all that power comes a whole new level of responsibility for QA teams. The crucial thing to get here is that testing isn't just about checking if the text output looks right anymore. It's now about protecting the safety and reliability of your entire system. Okay, so let's get into those hidden dangers and common traps. We've got to navigate the risks. Just like any good explorer, the first thing you do is figure out what you're up against. And trust me, these challenges are way deeper than they look on the surface. First off, you've got this dynamic context, right? The agent's sense of truth is changing all the time with real-time data. Then there's the amplified risk. Because these agents are autonomous, their impact goes way beyond just text. They can change your actual system state. And on top of all that, they're working everywhere. Slack, Service Cloud, Sales Cloud, it's a really complex web. And this is where we see teams get tripped up. It's so easy to fall into these common traps. You get so excited about the tech that you start testing just the outputs, what the agent says, but you completely forget to check what it actually does. Or you skip permission testing in your sandbox, or you forget that you need to be regression testing for every single new Salesforce release. And this slide just nails the problem, doesn't it? What you expect is for the agent to draft a nice, polite email to a customer. Simple enough. But the actual side effect? It's silently updating the wrong contact record in the background. Or maybe it summarizes a case in Slack, but whoops, it accidentally leaks sensitive data from a masked field. What you see is not always what you get. So how do we deal with all this? How do we become successful explorers in this new jungle? Well, it doesn't start with a fancy new tool. It starts with the right mindset. We're actually borrowing a bit of an ethos here from the Apollo 13 mission. You know that famous line, okay, we've got a problem, let's work it calmly and systematically. That's the mindset. When things get complex, you don't panic, you get disciplined. And this is really the key. We have to start treating these agents like living systems. They deserve the exact same discipline you already apply to your most important code. And when you do that, testing stops being this little chore you do at the end. It becomes the engine for real, sustainable innovation. All right, so we've got the mindset down. Now let's turn that into a concrete plan. This is your guide to the wild, a 7-point safety checklist. Think of this checklist as your explorer's map. It's broken into 3 simple phases: planning the expedition, navigating the terrain, and then mapping for the future. It's a structure you can use over and over to get you from the sandbox all the way to production, safely. Okay, phase 1, plan the expedition. Look, you wouldn't head into the jungle without a plan, right? Same here. First, you've got to define the scope and autonomy. What exactly is this agent allowed to do? What can't it do? Then you check your data fitness. Are your permissions solid? Is your schema stable? You have to get this stuff right before you go any further. Next up, phase 2, navigating the terrain. Now you're actually in the jungle. This is where you design your evaluations. You need clear pass-fail rules for every single scenario you can think of. You also build in your safety controls, things like audit trails or approval gates where a human has to step in. And of course, you test across all the surfaces, CRM, Slack, you name it. And finally, phase 3, mapping for the future. This is so important because this isn't a one-and-done trip. You have to make sure you're rerunning your evaluations before every major Salesforce release. And you've got to be tracking metrics and feedback, things like accuracy, cost, escalation rates, so you can keep making your agent smarter and better over time. So, when you follow this path, you're doing so much more than just stopping errors from happening. You're actually changing the whole relationship your team has with these autonomous systems. And that's really the big idea here. Good QA is what turns an experimental agent into a reliable teammate. It's that discipline, that structure, that's what builds trust. And it sounds kind of weird, but that trust is what lets you move faster later. You're not just deploying tech, you're building a teammate you can count on. Because really, in this new frontier, testing isn't just about squashing bugs. It's about building the foundation of trust for a future where people and AI can really collaborate. So, the question I'll leave you with is this: how are you going to build trust with your autonomous systems?